92% of our international trade is through shipping, and therefore that's the lifeblood of our economy.
When I see a ship coming in, obviously, me being a finance person, I see money, but it's much more than money. The ship itself, when it comes in, it's emitting gases.
The heat that is supposed to go outside the atmosphere is now being retained. Why? The greenhouse gases are retaining it. And that is why you are seeing the temperatures are rising.
From the household, from your own compound, what are you doing to address this climate change?
Shipping is the principal carrier of world trade, carrying as much as 90% by volume and therefore playing a pivotal role in global economic development and prosperity. However, greenhouse gas emissions from the maritime industry are increasing at a fast rate.
Due to the expected growth of world economy and associated transport demand, emissions from international shipping are expected to rise by between 50 to 250% by 2050 based on modeled scenarios.
The International Maritime Organization (IMO), a specialized UN agency, has set out global targets as part of reduction of marine pollution and climate change mitigation. In 2013, through its Marine Environment Protection Committee (Mtcc), IMO adopted Resolution MEP C229 of 65 that seeks to promote technical cooperation and transfer of technology relating to the improvement of energy efficiency of ships. The resolution enabled provision of technical assistance to developing countries in areas of capacity building and demonstrable pilot projects.
This year, with the financial support from the European Union and technical assistance from IMO, 4 Mtccs are being officially launched, one in each of the following regions: the Caribbean, Africa, Pacific, and Asia.
The launch of the Mtcc in Kenya, and I congratulate again the government of Kenya for hosting this institution, is a great opportunity to facilitate and boost the implementation of the global energy efficiency regulations for international shipping in the region and support the relevant authorities to develop domestic policies in line with international regulation.
The Maritime Technology Cooperation Center for Africa (Mtcc Africa) was officially launched on the 13th of December 2017 in a colorful ceremony graced by, among others, the Director of the Marine Environment Division of the IMO, Dr. Stefan Mikalev, the Deputy Head of the European Union Delegation to Kenya, Mr. Bruno Ponzi, and the Principal Secretary in the State Department of Maritime and Shipping Affairs, Mrs. Nancy Karigithu. Kenya, through a partnership between Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Kenya Ports Authority, and the Kenya Maritime Authority, participated in the competitive bidding to host Mtcc Africa.
And JKWAT, together with KEMA and KPA, submitted the bid on 22nd of August 2016. The bid was evaluated, and on 2nd of February 2017, we were awarded the contract to be able to create or to establish this Center of Excellence for African region.
We were very happy to have won the bid to host Mtcc Mtcc Africa, which joins the global Mtcc network in terms of capacity building and also assisting other African nations to ratify and implement MAPL Annex 6.
Stationed at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Mombasa campus, Mtcc Africa is now fully operational with secretariat and staff.
Mtcc Africa is part of that vision that the European Union has with its partner to do things differently so that climate change becomes not a challenge but an opportunity to develop new technologies, new ways of being and new ways of making development sustainable and inclusive. We believe that the establishment of this center in Africa, together with the other 4 technology centers in Asia, Pacific, Latin America and Caribbean, have an important role to play for building capacity for climate mitigation in the maritime shipping industry.
Mtcc Africa will focus on the following mandates, which will be carried out by greenhouse gas and energy efficiency experts. Raising awareness about policies, strategies, and measures for reduction of gas and other emissions from the maritime transport sector. Improve compliance with existing and future regulations by working with maritime administrations, port authorities, and related stakeholders. Collect data and report on ships' fuel consumption to improve understanding of operational efficiencies and feedback into the regulatory process. Promote uptake of low-carbon technologies and operations in maritime transport. Like the other 4 MTCCs, Mtcc Africa has 6 main functions. These include capacity building and training, technology needs and market barrier analysis, networking among MTCCs, facilitate data collection and technology demo projects, assisting policy and institutional strengthening, catalyzing technology cooperation and partnerships.
So far, we've managed to roll out and deliver 2 key workshops that were part of the program in setting up the Mtcc. The first one being the national workshop. This was held in June and managed to bring together all the key institutions within Kenya that have components of mitigation of marine pollution and greenhouse gas emissions from shipping. The next workshop we held was the regional workshop that then brought together the countries within the region who were affected by and who the Mtcc Africa is working with.
All of us here, and starting with Mtcc Africa, we have to make our continent move so that now we follow the footsteps of the European countries and the footsteps that IMO is taking us to that direction so that we make Africa green.
There are obviously some good takeaways for us. We want to really applaud the Kenyan people, the Kenyan authority for the boldness, the courage to organize this first regional meeting.
Au vu de cela, ce n'est pas seulement les pétroliers qui sont concernés, mais tout navire qui passe dans nos eaux sont des potentiels pollueurs. Donc cette annexe est vraiment importante et à notre retour, nous mettrons des choses en place pour permettre à nos différents acteurs du secteur privé et public d'être imprégnés et de prendre connaissance de cette annexe qui est véritablement important pour tout un chacun.
As one of the delivery initiatives or one of the key adopted strategies was to have focal points, because working from Kenya, we need then to collaborate or to create a network of collaborating countries. What we've done is divide the continent into key areas, that is the south, the north, the island states, and West African states. And in each of those countries, we've identified country focal points who are going to be sort of spearheading the initiatives of Mtcc Africa for their region.
Mtcc Africa has committed to deliver on 2 pilot projects.
The first one is on the uptake of low carbon technologies. And as a center, would want to demonstrate this using onshore supply of electricity to ships.
This is going to be undertaken along Berth 16, and this is because Berth 16 is ready to receive such a project. The civil works have been done, so the ducts to facilitate the implementation of the shore power facility are ready. And for us, this is a big plus because it is also one of our KPIs under our performance contract.
So when the ship comes, Berth 16, it would be required to switch off its main engine, switch off its auxiliary engines, and tap power from the onshore power supply system. And in this respect, we intend to reduce the amount of emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, that come with the running of these engines on hydrocarbon.
The power supply currently at port is at 132 kV. So we tap at the highest, at a very high level in the national grid. And this makes this power supply to the port stable with a few fluctuations. And we have enough capacity which we can use to supply part of it to the vessels and the rest to the port. So we are certain that as far as the capacity is concerned, we are able to supply the vessels with onshore power.
Upon completion of the pilot project, then we shall definitely roll it out to the other berths within the port and also to the other ports that are under our jurisdiction. Because it's not enough to just say that we have shore power on one berth. It defeats the purpose and the logic. We need to roll it out to the other berths to ensure that we affect the environment positively everywhere.
The second pilot project is on data collection and reporting. It seeks to collect data on fuel consumption and greenhouse gas emissions from ships in line with IMO regulations.
We intend to fit the ships with tablets that have standardized e-forms with the required parameters from the ship. Among them are the fuel consumption and the engine specification of the ship and the technologies that are using to mitigate emissions from the ship.
Kenya Maritime Authority will use its infrastructure to implement the data collection and reporting project.
And we are saying that KMA, we are there to assist the project until it realizes its calls here in Africa. We have enough equipment, so the whole thing is that it just came when we already have infrastructure in place.
Ship owners will volunteer ships to participate through being fitted with tablets and SAT boxes to capture fuel consumption and fuel quality.
SAT boxes are another method of collecting the data. So you'd have sensors that will be connected to a SAT box. And then this SAT box will be able to relay the information via satellite to our center at the Mtcc.
Mtcc Africa is further expected to engage shipping lines and jointly develop methods of monitoring greenhouse gas emissions, reporting mechanisms, and reviewing protocols.
First and foremost, the fuel consumption data collection is something that is now a statutory requirement which is coming into force from 1st March 2018. But countries are expected to remit the data from 2019. So here, the requirements are that any ship of 5,000 gross tonnage and above will be required to submit data on fuel consumption.
Data collected will be compared with a baseline survey, which will also be undertaken at the early stages of the research process by the Kenya Meteorological Department. Upon analysis of this data, Mtcc Africa will be able to advise shipping companies on how to improve their operational efficiency and comply with international maritime standards.
We would be sharing this information with the other 5 Mtccs as one. We are actually one. So we have our global Mtccs network which links us all. So any vital information that we have generated will be able to share with the others. And if it is implementable, they will also be able to implement in their regions.
These 2 pilot projects are expected to make significant contributions towards effective implementation and enforcement of the global energy efficiency regulations.
The success of the sender or IMO initiatives is not actually at the global level, not at the national level, not at the county level. It is at individual level. We are told that the ozone layer is being depleted. The question is, how have I as an individual contributed to that depletion of the ozone layer?
The inauguration of Mtcc Africa is the beginning of an African journey towards mitigating harmful effects of climate change through emissions from ships.